Right now, center stage issues. What are potential voters like you saying about all this, and what will you hear tonight in debate number 2? Pollster Frank Luntz now, also the author of Words That Work. Frank, good morning to you.
Good morning.
We're going to roll a couple clips here, and the first one it takes us back to last week. Sarah Palin, when she was talking about the economy, and she was talking about making sure your credit cards don't go over their limits. It was very plain speak. What did you find?
Well, what we learned from this was that the American people really don't want the ideology and they don't want the partisanship. They want straight talk, basically John McCain's phrase, and they also want a sense of responsibility. And the reason why Sarah Palin did so well in her debate was that she talked about personal responsibility. Accountability for Washington, personal responsibility for the individual, and that's what the public is looking for. Let's listen to the clip.
We need to make sure that as individuals, we're taking personal responsibility through all this. It's not the American people's fault that the economy is hurting like it is, but we have an opportunity to learn a heck of a lot of good lessons through this and say, never again will we be taken advantage of.
Now, you saw that jump right at the end. Never again will we be taking advantage of. We did a survey for the Kauffman Foundation. I'm going to mention a couple bits of data from that survey. The American people do still believe in the free market system, and they believe very much that small business owners and entrepreneurs could do a better job than Wall Street CEOs or members of Congress in guiding the economy for the future. And tonight, when both candidates address the economy, what they want to make sure, what the American people want so much, is for someone to say, we are going to maintain a system that has accountability and responsibility, but still the freedom to grow, the freedom to develop, the freedom to innovate. And neither candidate is really doing a good job in addressing it from that standpoint.
Well, on that rescue bill, all you had to do was read our emails last week, Frank, to know where the American people stand on that. And you found that similar in that Kauffman study you talked about. You also found that when Ron Paul was on the floor of the House.
Yes,
what happened?
And this is very interesting because I've had my debates back and forth with Ron Paul's supporters. But Ron Paul himself, this is the highest, best, quickest tested. You're going to see the line shoot up when he talks about where Washington got it wrong. Let's take a look at language that is perfect when it comes to opposing the bailout.
That could be made here today is to blame free market capitalism for this problem. This has nothing to do with free market capitalism. This has to do with a managed economy, an inflationary system, corporatism, a special interest system. It has nothing to do with the failure of free markets and capitalism.
If you'd extended that clip even further, Ron Paul did a perfect analysis which says that the problem came from Washington interference, from the lack of transparency, from the lack of accountability. And Ron Paul's message is a message that transcended politics. There's a reason why, Bill, when these congressmen were getting 400 emails, phone calls, that they were running better than 10-1 against the bailout, because the American people thought that this was a taxpayer-funded gift to Wall Street that they didn't want to give.
Yeah, 400 might be at the low end, too, for some of these members of Congress.
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank. Frank Luntz, and again, the Kauffman survey, too. Thanks for that information, the Kauffman Foundation.
Thank you.
Megan, what's coming up?
Let's take a live look at the